Welcome back, everyone. Today we're going to be in the key of E major. E is 1, F sharp is 2, G sharp is 3, A is 4, B is 5, C sharp is 6, D sharp is 7, and E is the 1. Alright? So on the 1, we know according to the number system, the 1 is typically major. So you can play this as a straight major chord, E, G sharp, and B. Alright? You can make it a sus2 by playing E, F sharp, and B. So instead of that 3, we play the 2. Alright? Or you can make it a sus4 by playing the 4th tone instead of the 3rd. So you have E, A, and B. Alright? You can also make this an add 9 chord by playing it major. Right? E, G sharp, and B. But add in the 9 or the 2. And when you do that, you get a nice add 9 voice. Alright, you can also play this as a major 7th chord by finding the 3rd scale degree, 1, 2, 3, and playing it as a minor. So A flat or G sharp minor, G sharp, B, and D sharp over your 1. And you can get a major 7th sound. Alright, you can also play this as a major 9th by finding the 5th scale degree, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is B, and making that a major chord. So that's B, D sharp, and F sharp. That gives you your nice major 9th voicing. Okay? And then we also know on the 1 we can do that chordal chord trick that we've been doing by forming the chordal chord off of the 2nd, 3rd, 6th, and 7th scale degrees. So on the 2nd, it's going to be an F sharp chordal chord. So F sharp, upper 4th is B, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then if we're in the key of B, upper 4th is 1, 2, 3, 4 is E. So you play that all together over the 1. Gives you a nice voicing. Okay? You can also form the chordal chord off of the 3. So G sharp, C sharp, and F sharp. Sounds good when you play them together. Or one after the other, consecutively. Alright? You can do this off of the 7th scale degree. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so that's D sharp, G sharp, and C sharp. And off of the 6th scale degree. So go down a whole step and you'll find the 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, so you got it off of the 3, the 2, the 7, and the 6. Alright, so those are some things that you can do on the 1. Let's look at the 2nd tone, which is going to be F sharp. According to the number system, that's typically going to be a minor, so you can play an F sharp minor. So F sharp, A, and C sharp. Right? You can make this a minor 7th by finding the 3rd scale degree of that. So 1, 2, 3, right? And playing a major chord. So that's an A major, A, C sharp, and E over the F sharp. Gives you an A minor 7th chord. If you want to make it fatter, you can play that F minor in your left hand, and then the right hand, play around with that A major. Alright, then you can make this a minor 9 by 1, 3, taking that 5th scale degree and make it in a minor chord. So C minor, C sharp minor rather, over that F sharp in the bass. Gives you that minor 9 voicing. Again, you can fatten it up by playing the whole minor chord in your left hand. F minor, F sharp minor rather in your left hand, C sharp minor in your right hand. Alright? So that's going to give you your minor 9 sound. Then you have your minor 11. How do we form that? You play the minor in your left, go down a whole step, right, and play in a major chord. So E major in my right hand, and F sharp minor in my left hand, or just F sharp bass. Gives me that minor 9 feel. I mean that minor 11 feel. So those are some things that you can do on the 2. Then you also have the chordal trick that you can use, okay? So if I'm playing the F sharp minor, I can do an F sharp chordal chord in my right hand. If I'm gonna build it off of that 1 of the chord that I'm on. And you can always go up a whole step too and play around with it that way. So those are some things that you can do on the 2. Let's go ahead and look at the 3. 1, 2, 3 is going to be G sharp or A flat. we know that the 3 can always be either a landing tone or it can be a passing tone, right? So we're going to focus on what it could be as a landing tone. So on the 3, we know we can play the 1. So if I'm in the key of E, the 1 is going to be E. So I'll play 1 major chord over it. Alright? We know you can make it a sus2 voicing. Alright? Another thing that you can do is you can play the chordal chord that's a whole step down from your bass on the 3. So the whole step down would be the 2 and form a chordal chord, and it sounds nice. That's F sharp, B, and E. Alright? Also, the 3 can be just a straight minor chord. So you can play A flat or G sharp minor, right? And then because it can be a minor chord, we can start to extend the voice beyond the minor triad. We can play a minor 7th. To form the 7th, we find the 3rd of my scale or my chord is going to be B, and make that a major chord. So B major, which is B, D sharp, and F sharp. Alright? You can fatten it up, and I'm just changing the inversions here and playing 2-handed chords to make it a little bit fatter. So that's the minor 7th. You can make this a minor 9 by finding the 5th, which is going to be that D sharp or the E flat, and playing that as a major chord. Excuse me, playing that as a minor chord. So that's D sharp, F sharp, and A sharp, or E flat, G flat, B flat, however you want to look at it. Right? And now to make this a fatter voice, and I'm just playing the 1, 5, and 1 in my left hand, and then I'm playing this in my right hand, which really looks like a B major 7th over that A flat or G sharp. Okay, but what I'm really thinking is find the minor chord and then go up to the 5th and make it a minor also. So I'm stacking 2 minor triads on each other, and I come up with that voicing. Alright, so that is the minor 9. Now let's look at the minor 11th. To find the minor 11th, we go down a whole step. So if it's A flat or G sharp minor, go down a whole step to the F sharp, right? And make that a major chord. Sounds pretty good. Alright, there you have it. So that's some things that you can do on the 3rd scale degree. 1, 2, 3. Let's look at the 4th. The 4th, according to the number scale, is typically major, so we can play an A major, A, C sharp, and E, right? We can make it a sus2 by playing A, B, and E. Remember, instead of playing the 3rd, I suspended it and went down to the 2. Similarly, we can make it a sus4, which means instead of playing that 3, which is a C sharp, I go up to the 4, which is D. Alright, so those are some things that you can do quickly. Also, you can play this as a regular major chord with an added 9. So add the B. Okay, and it sounds pretty. Okay, also on the 4, you can make this a major 7th chord. So you go find the 3, 1, 2, 3 of your chord, and play that as a minor chord. So C sharp minor, C sharp, E, and G sharp. Right? Alright, so that's your major 7th. You can make it a major 9th by finding the 5th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Playing that E as a major chord. So E, G sharp, and B. So I'm playing an E major over an A major. Or I'm playing that 5 as a major chord, which is E, over that 1 major chord, which is A. Gives you a nice minor 9 sound. And then you have, gives you a nice major 9 sound, alright? And then you have your chordal tricks, which is, again, play the chordal chord off of the 3, the 2, the 7, and the 6. So the 3 is going to be C sharp, so C sharp, F sharp, and B. Off of the 3, off of the 2, it would be B, E, and A. Off of the 7, it would be G sharp, C sharp, and F sharp. And off of the 6, it would be F sharp, B, and E. So altogether, you have it off of the 3, 2, 7, and 6. Alright, so that's some things that you can do on the 4. Let's take a look at the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is going to be B. So the 5 is typically major. So you form a B major. B, D sharp, and F sharp. right? We know we can make this a sus2 voicing. I very rarely do it, but you can make it a sus4. So sus2, instead of playing the 3, I suspend it to the 2. B, C sharp, and F sharp. Or instead of playing it as a regular, I can suspend it to the 4. So take the 3 and go up to the 4. Okay? Of course, you can do the add 9. Anytime you do a major triad, just go ahead and add that 9, which in this case is going to be C sharp. Remember 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I keep going, then this is 8, and that's the 9. So the 9 is also the 2. Easy to remember, right? Alright, so those are some things you can do on the 5. Other things, you can also use the 5 to transition to the 1. So I'll go over some options for that. So to transition to the 1, you can play the 4 over it as a major chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. So A major. Right? To the 5. A major is A, C sharp, and E. And I'm playing around with the inversions and going back to the 1. Now we can expand upon that 4, and instead of just playing a major chord, you can play a major 7th, right? And it sounds pretty good. Alright, other things you can do on the 5. You can play the 5, go down a whole step, which makes that the 7th of it. So now it kind of has like a dominant 7 type of voicing. And then you can play the 4 as a diminished chord. So 1, 2, 3, 4, A as a diminished 7th. It sounds good, right? So 5, right? Diminished to the 1. Uh-oh. Okay. So that's some things that you can do. On the 5, what else can you do? Oh, you can play the 3 as a major chord. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? I got my 5 and the 7th of that. Flatted 7th of it. The 3 is 1, 2, 3. Right? Play that as a major chord. Very dissonant, right? So you have 1, 2, 5. So that time I did a 5, I did the 4 major 7th over it, right? And then I went to that 3, A flat or G sharp, C and D sharp, right? That 3 is a major chord, and then go back to the 1. Alright? So that's some things that you can do on the 5. What else can you do? Anything else? Of course, on the 5, you can play chordal voicings. Oh, I like to go and use like the West Angeles type of feel to it on the 5, where they do the chordal chord off of the 7th scale degree. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is going to be that D sharp, right? And then when I go to the 1 in my bass, I go down to the 6 and play a chordal chord. So my right hand's going E sharp, G sharp, C sharp, to C sharp, F sharp, and B. I just took everything a whole step down. So on the 5, and then I go to the 1. Alright, that's a cool way to do it too. So you're on the 2, 5, I'm combining it. Alright, and I probably wouldn't do all of those together. It's just too busy. But it is a nice way to get some movement if you're interested in that. Alright, so now we're on the 6th scale degree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On the 6th, typically this is going to be, you'll play the 4 major over top of it. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is A. So I'm going to play A major. I can also make that a sus2. Or an add 9, right? So A, sus2 is A, B, and E. Or make it an add 9 chord. So A, B, C sharp, and E. Right? And that does a good job of getting us to the 7. So you could do, so that's how you would usually use it, or if you're passing, walking up or down, right? Alright, sounds nice. Alright, so on that 6, you can play a 4 major over it, and then the sus2 or the add 9, right? You can also go a quarter chord a whole step below that. So whole step below C sharp is B and form a quarter chord, and that forms a nice voicing too. So let's say I'm walking up, I would go 5, right? Then the 6, I could, right? I could go. So I'll teach you the ones on the 7 in a minute, but we want to focus on the 6. So on the 6, you can play the 4 major, sus, or add 9, right? Or you can go a quarter chord, a whole step down and play that, all right? And then you can always make the 6 a minor sound. So what you would do is play the 1 in the key of E, which is going to be E, as a major chord. And when you do that, you get a minor 7th, C sharp minor 7th. Alright, so you have that option. Then you can also make this a minor 9, 1, 3, 5. Find the 5, which is going to be at A flat or that G sharp, and make that a minor chord. Alright, so that's going to be A flat or G sharp, B, and E flat or D sharp. Alright, so that's a minor 9 sound. And you can make it a minor 11th voicing by going a whole step down from your bass. Whole step down from that C sharp is going to be B. Play a major. Right, and you have that. Okay, and then that brings us to the last tone, which is going to be D sharp or E flat. So on the 7, we typically play the 5 as a major chord. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a B major. And we've already covered what that chord is. So B major. Right? You can make it a sus2 voicing. Right? Or you can make it an add 9. Or you can do the chordal that's a whole step below it, which is C sharp, F sharp, and B. So again, if you're walking it up chordals, right? Or if you're walking up using the triads, the 4 over that, the 5 over that, and then that takes you to the 1. Alright? So I hope this is a blessing to you. What you want to do is practice this, going up the scale, going down the scale, using different variations of these voicings. You know? So start on the 1. You know? Practice this. Hope it's a blessing. Thanks for tuning in. God bless you. Take care.